Hi there, James Martin, immigration attorney with a national practice throughout the United States. If you'd like to know more about our firm, click on the link below. Today I'm going to speak to you a little bit just about the Border Patrol and ICE and how things are going down in the country, because there are what we call sea changes in what is happening. What do I mean by sea changes? ICE and Border Patrol are awash in money. The big beautiful bill basically increased their budget 10 times. What does that mean? They have just so many more resources for immigration enforcement. And America is going to look, the United States of America is going to look very different in the years to come. What do I mean by that? Well, it used to be, because I used to work on the border, that within the first 50 miles of the border, you would see a lot of Border Patrol. In border cities, I lived in one for a while, you would see Border Patrol going up and down the street. And they would pick people up and they would remove them from the United States. So what's going to happen in 2026 and 2027? You're not going to recognize this country because Border Patrol is coming to a street near you. You will see Border Patrol or ICE, maybe not Border Patrol, because the internal enforcement mechanism, of course, is the Immigration and Customs Enforcement. We have seen high view videos, or very popular videos, of Immigration and Customs Enforcement activities in the big cities such as Chicago, New York. Well, that's coming to a neighborhood near you, and you will see Immigration and Customs Enforcement vehicles in your neighborhood. Get ready. Why is that? Because essentially the government has decided that they will intensify immigration enforcement and try to remove from the country people who are here unlawfully. And they have not really changed the immigration laws in any significant way. What they have done is they have activated provisions in the laws that allow for very vigorous and rigorous enforcement in the country. Again, what does that mean? Did you know that there's a clause in the law that mandates and encourages local law enforcement agencies to cooperate with Immigration and Customs Enforcement? That law has been on the books for 30 years and has been enforced somewhat in the past, but not really completely enforced. With the conservative turn that our country has taken on immigration policy, now that policy and law is going to be enforced like it's on steroids. They are going to have a lot of resources available to them, cars, trucks, people, most of them masked, on our streets, picking up people whom they think are undocumented. So what do you do about it? The first thing you do is you know your rights. If you are stopped by an Immigration and Customs Enforcement person, you need to know that you have certain rights and you have certain responsibilities. Let's go into your rights. Let's say you're here unlawfully. There are millions of people here unlawfully, so I don't want you to feel ashamed about it. It just is what it is. There are circumstances that pushed you into this country, but now you're faced with a situation where, in fact, the country has changed and they're not so welcoming. So your rights. Your right is to remain silent. And what I mean by that is you can give your name, date of birth, and address. That is all that you are obligated to give to the Immigration and Customs Enforcement people. Does that mean that you're completely protected? No, because they can run your fingerprints and they can run an address check and they can pretty much figure out who you are. But at least you are not admitting to them that you are unlawfully present in the United States. You also have the right to legal counsel. Now, you need to understand that there have been developments in immigration law that say if a person is detained by the immigration authorities and they enter the country unlawfully, immigration judges do not have the right or the jurisdiction to set a bond for their release. What is the practical meaning of that? Well, it is used as a tool to force people to leave the United States. It's a tool that will say, okay, we're not changing the immigration laws, but what we're going to do is we're going to keep you detained, and we're going to make you very uncomfortable until such time as your immigration case is resolved. The majority of people are going to probably end up leaving unless they have a legal basis to remain in the United States. So essentially, we're at the mercy of the immigration authorities in many, many cases, especially for the people who came into the country unlawfully. So now you know what to do if you are pulled over by immigration. What is it that you should not do? The first thing you should not do is you should never lie. So to avoid lying and to avoid misrepresenting anything, the best way to do that is to shut up. One of the funniest videos I ever saw in my life from a criminal law attorney was, and I won't say it here because I'm a little bit more decent, but they would say, the police have stopped you, shut the F up. And they kept saying that, and it was one of the funniest things. And that's vulgar, but it drives home the point. When you're nervous, you're going to want to try to make the immigration customs authorities nicer to you. You're in a situation where you don't understand what's going on. So you're only going to give your name, address, and date of birth. That's it. You're not going to say where you were born. You're not going to say what your immigration status is. Let them figure it out, because that way you're not giving them information that they can use against you. The other thing is, you're not going to resist. If you are seen as resisting immigration authorities, you're playing into their hands. Why is that? Because that is kind of what some of the enforcement people want. They want you to resist so they can say, oh, look at this bad foreign national, look at this bad alien. We need to get these dangerous people out of the country. So you're not going to resist in any way. The other thing that you're going to do is, if you can do it, if you can get your hands on a piece of paper and a pen, you're going to write down everything that happened to you, how you were stopped, what was going on, what was said, what you said, and you're going to keep a record of it. Why is that? Because we tend to forget things. And if you write it down and remember it, then you'll have some material to give to your attorney. And finally, you're going to reach out to your immigration attorney or to an immigration attorney. You will have some hard decisions to make if you are stopped by ICE, and it is not going to be easy. I think finally you need to have a plan B. What is a plan B? You need to have documents in place so that if you are stopped, detained, and God forbid sent outside of the country, then you need to have paperwork in place so that people can take care of your children, can get to your bank accounts, and can sell any property that you have so that you don't lose the money. That is very important. It is breaking the law to be here unlawfully, but it does not entitle the government to seize your assets. You worked hard for your money. You're an honest person. You worked hard for that house. You worked hard for that car. So make sure that you take care of these things by leaving a power of attorney with the right person so that they can handle your affairs. And most importantly, make sure that the care of your children is handled as well, because they're not going to just let you out to take care of your kids. So, with that, I don't want to sound negative, but I am being realistic. The other thing that I want to tell you is what I tell everybody in every circumstance. It is always the darkest before the dawn. What do I mean by that? Well, things look bleak now, but the situation can change at the drop of a hat. We're going to have elections in 1 year for a new Congress, but we will still have the same administration for 2 additional years beyond that, so 3 more years. We need just to get through this time, and God willing, things will get better. Again, we're a national practice. We're here to help you. Click on the link below if you want help. Thank you very much, and God bless.
James, fix your button.
Hey there, I'm your immigration attorney, and I can do a great job for you. You can trust me.
Oh my goodness.